back, legends. I hope you're all fantastic. This curious beast that I've got here in my hands is a Harley Benton guitar bass. It's their take on the Fender Bass 6, which is kind of like the forgotten child of that whole lineup. You've got 6 strings on here, but they are tuned an octave lower than a normal guitar. You've got 3 single coil pickups with a 5-way, but then these kind of like, jazz bass style controls over here. 21 frets, a bound fretboard. You've got a very guitar looking headstock over here, and an offset body that kind of brings to mind, the Jazzmaster. What's interesting about the Harley Benton take on it that I really like for this design, because it's got a much longer scale length, got a Tune-O-Matic style bridge on here and traditional kind of stop bar tailpiece, so you don't have to worry about springs or stringing through the body or anything like that. When they sent me a bunch of guitars, which I've previously demoed, the Dullahan and then their kind of junior style guitar, they asked me if I wanted a third instrument, and I saw that they made one of these. I've always been so curious about the Bass 6. Again, because it just kind of sits in this interesting zone. A baritone guitar, you'd normally tune B to B or to drop A. You've got extended range guitars like 7 and 8 string guitars, but these have been around for over 50 years. The design, anyway. Obviously, this is a brand new guitar, but I'm just kind of curious as to what I can do with it. So I've actually taken a couple of months with this and just put together a couple of jams that I will kind of walk you through. When I see this style of guitar design, I immediately want to hear reverb and tremolo and kind of a lot of tom beats for a surf style thing. So I'll give you a little surfy style jam. I'm using this for the bass and the guitar. Then we'll hear some isolated tones, and I'll take you through some heavier things as well. Let's go. The 5 positions on this pickup selector. So 3 single coils, master volume, master tone on here, and I'm running it through a bass amp sim on my Axe FX3, just a simple SVT thing. We'll start on the bridge pickup and then go through each of the different combinations. So we'll go bridge, bridge and middle, middle, middle and neck, and then finally neck. Then I'll play around with the tone control. And I'm a troglodyte and I play bass with a pick. pretty punchy. It's pretty balanced in there. I really like the neck pickup and then the neck and middle combo on this guitar. I should mention as well, the neck is made out of maple and it's actually got a lovely matte finish on here. Like the other Harley Benton guitars I haven't had any issues with the frets on here, no sharp ends. The binding doesn't have any scratches on it. The action is maybe a little bit higher than I would like, and I think maybe I'd like to try experiment with something in the bridge position here, like a humbucker or something like that. So it might actually make a cool little modding project. I think the trade-off with it not having like the biggest, boomiest low end that you would get on, say, a longer scale bass is that these high strings actually sound quite balanced with this kind of traditional bass amp tone, you know, for doing this kind of stuff. Treating it like a bass. What if I treat it like a guitar instead? I'll try that same little sequence this time through like a Fender amp sim on my XFX3 with some reverb. It's still kind of bassy to me. The longer scale length just takes a lot of the jangle out of it on there, but you know, it's got a bit of that down-tuned guitar thing happening on there, or baritone guitar would be a much better way to do it. It's kind of all about how you treat this instrument. Again, it just kind of sits in an interesting space. So we need to hear it now with my main live dirty preset on the axe. Ending on this thing is a massive workout. So I know people are going to ask, since it's an extended range guitar, essentially with 6 strings, does it djent? So here's something that I put together. I used Euro bass for like a sub bass low E on here and played this little riff, and then used some pitch shifting on my Axe effects, loads of gain and loads of delay to kind of blend a pretty unique lead tone. This was really challenging to play, but I think we can safely say it djents. Now doing that kind of inspired me to try the two approaches of treating it like a bass and treating it like a guitar, so a kind of modern bi-amp bass tone. I'm actually using a preset on the Axe FX3 called Leon's Djent Bass, so super clean low end, crunchy mid-range, super high end filth on there. This is what it sounds like on its own. I'll kick a fuzz pedal in front of it as well. Then we'll have a kind of just bass, guitar, guitar, bass, and drum jam, and I'll see what I come up with. that was probably my favorite example. And the thing that I've actually been using this for is something that I can just grab. If I want to do some writing or some experimenting, put a drum groove on, I can just come out with riffs because I've got that overlap between a bass guitar range and a guitar range. This really doesn't feel like playing a bass, mostly because of the string spacing, even though it's a longer scale and heavier strings. Kind of balances like a guitar. The pickup set is like a guitar, and if you're a guitar player, it's probably going to be a quick adjustment. I think if you're a bass player coming to this, the string spacing is going to throw you off, and unless you really play with a pick, it's not really going to operate like a bass. So I think this is probably like 60% guitar, 40% bass, rather than a 50-50 split on there. Using it with distortion is immense fun. Using it as like a kind of little surfy thing is pretty fun as well. Let me know which one of those jams you liked, and if you want to grab one of these, there is an affiliate link in the video description. Thank you to the Harley Benton team for sending me this instrument because it's been a massive amount of fun. I'm actually just going to ride you out with heaps of fuzz, heaps of delay, and I don't know, I'll come up with some kind of doomy little noodle on here. Doom Noodle, that sounds like a name for a side project. Thanks for watching the video. See you next time.